What's up, everyone? I'm Rick Knight. Welcome back to another video here at The Bad Philosopher. Back to filming on my cell phone because I'm doing some work in my apartment, so my equipment I had to pack up and move away. This is not even on. I just put it there to try to look cool, and it's not working. Bernie Sanders now kicks off his... This is an article I'm reading from the Associated Press. Bernie Sanders kicked off his presidential campaign Saturday, miles from the rent-controlled apartment where he grew up in Brooklyn, and forcibly made the case that he is nothing like fellow New Yorker Donald Trump, proclaiming himself the Democrat best to... prepared to beat the incumbent in 2020. You being the best to beat Trump in 2020 out of all your candidates on the Democratic Party. It's like winning the bronze medal in the Special Olympics. I'm really just not impressed with you, Sanders. I'm really not. I mean, who are you beating over there on the left? I mean, they're a bunch of morons. I love how the Associated Press had to say, you know, he grew up in rent control. They had to, like, you know, virtue single him real quick. They had to just, like, you know, throw it out there that, you know, he's one of us. He's not one of us. He hasn't been one of us in many, many, many years. First off, he's a socialist. Real Brooklynites are not socialist. The Brooklynites that you have here today, they're not originally from Brooklyn. They don't count. And the ones who are these young kids being indoctrinated from our school system, from the Board of Ed, and from our colleges. Real Brooklynites, we are not with that socialist nonsense. It is complete garbage. Sanders said, my experience as a child living in a family that struggled economically powerfully influenced my life and my values. I know where I came from. Sanders boomed in his unmistakable Brooklyn accent, and that is something I will never forget. Oh, you forgot all about that, Sanders. You forgot all about coming from Brooklyn when you advocate taking other people's stuff to share with other people. That is not something we do here. Just come and try to take something of mine to give to other people, and you'll see why Brooklynites, we don't play that bullshit. Real Brooklyn, we're not playing that bullshit. You're not going to just come and take our shit. It doesn't work that way. I don't know what you're talking about, Sanders, but... You know, here in industrialist New York City, we are not with this socialist nonsense. This is the financial capital of the world. This is a capitalist hub. We don't want this socialist garbage coming in here and wrecking our economy. And you are going to fight. You're going to learn. You're going to learn in the 2020 when you do not get elected. Let's see. So he said, my experience as a child living in a family that struggled economically, powerfully influenced my life and my values. I know. Oh, I read that already. Okay, let me skip that. Let's see. Let's go further down. Sanders has never shied from jabbing Trump in stark terms. And during his speech at Brooklyn College, he called Trump the most dangerous president in modern American history and said the president wants to divide us. How is he trying to divide us? I don't get it. How is Trump trying to divide us? If anything, it is the left who has been constantly trying to divide us. They're trying to divide our economic system and how things work. They're trying to strip religion away from everyone and strip it out of our schools. They're trying to, you know, push this whole LGBTQ, R2D2, C3PO agenda down our throats. They're constantly dividing us up amongst race, gender, and sexuality. They are the great dividers. The Democrats are the great dividers. That's why so many of us have left the Democratic Party. That's why I left the Democratic Party. And that's why I urge as many people as I possibly can to also get up and leave the Democratic Party. They are dividing everything in two. They're taking all these cisgender, straight, white male patriarch of the country, Christian patriarch of the country, putting them on one side and then everyone else against him. You are the great dividers, not Trump. This is just ridiculous for him to say something like that. The Vermont senator positioned himself in opposition to Trump's administration policies from immigration to climate change. Beyond the issue themselves, Sanders, who grew up in a heavily Jewish neighborhood of Flatbush in a middle-class family, drew a stark contrast between himself and the billionaire in the White House, who also hails from Queens. You know, this is the problem. It says it right here in the article. So he grew up in a heavily Jewish middle-class family. Obviously, he did not get the intelligent Jew gene. It seems like the billionaire in the White House who hails from Queens family did get the intelligent Jew gene, and that's why they're billionaires, and you're not, Sanders. I think you are resentful. I think you're envious. I think you're jealous. I think where this all comes from is that you are tired of seeing other people who are more industrialist, more conscientious, more intelligent, more hardworking, finding success, and your family didn't, and you want to take it from them to give it to other people who did not earn it. This is an immoral system. Socialism is completely immoral, and I know he's not a socialist. He's a democratic socialist. That's like saying I'm not a Nazi, I'm a democratic Nazi. What is democratic socialist? Would you get together and you vote on who to rob? I mean, this is the analogy of the two wolves and a sheep, and they're all going to vote on who's for dinner tonight, right? Obviously, the sheep is for dinner, and the sheep would represent capitalism, and the wolves are socialism, voting to just tear us up and completely eat us alive. That's what democratic socialism is. It is nonsense. Okay, Sanders also said he did not come from a family of privilege that prepared me to entertain people on television by telling workers you are fired. Obviously, you know, this is just a low hanging fruit of a jab. Trump was not raised to be an entertainer. That's something that happened later on in life, my entire life. And I'm in my 40s. I know who Trump was. His name's on buildings. He owns Manhattan, casinos. He was all over TV. That was later on in life. In what, the mid 2005 or something like that, or whatever, when that show started. They didn't raise him to be an entertainer. Again, it seems like you're a little jealous of his celebrity status. You're a little jealous of his success. That show, which I was not a fan of, I did not watch the show much at all. There was a couple funny moments of it, I guess, but it's just not for me. Was pretty successful. He's done very well with it. It seems like Sanders is a little jealous. You know, you didn't come from a family that prepared you to really do anything but advocate for stealing other people's money and property and stuff like that. Trump came from a family that raised him to make money and build wealth and own stuff. So I definitely see you as a resentful. I mean, socialism in itself is resentment. So pretty much he's just going to show exactly how envious he really is. Okay. Well, I mean, that's really about it. He also had Sean King come out there to speak. Sean King, as you know him as, a.k.a. Talcum X, the white guy who's pretending to be black for a long time. His birth certificate came out that he has 2 white parents. He's saying his mom had an affair with a black guy, and that's where he comes from. Although that's not been proven, I wish he would take a DNA test and either shut us up or disappear. He has been culturally appropriating, black culture forever now. He's a former, or maybe he's a current writer of New York Daily News. Not impressive at all. He's nothing more than an activist who pumps out one propaganda piece after the next. He's constantly under attack on Twitter for saying stupid shit, for amping up stories, for lying, for claiming that he identified a shooter in a case or something like that, and it turned out that wasn't even the shooter. The shooter wasn't even a white guy. It was two young black men who did the shooting. It was like some nonsense like that. But it's just one propaganda piece after the next with Sean King. King, who I believe has been challenged to quite a few debates by quite a few people, just like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, but will not show up to have the debates because they are not skilled enough and they have a very weak position, a very weak platform, and their ideology do not hold up to scrutiny, so therefore they must avoid all debates. So that's it. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, share, hit the bell, and I will see you guys on the next video.